I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. I see me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly.
What is that?
Hello, my name is AJ, but I go by the performance name of Jedon Jacobs, and I'm a young filmmaker. And when I got asked to come here today, I was thinking, man, I ain't my father, I ain't got no kids, this and that. But then I thought, my experiences with my own father not being about, and growing up in care and being adopted, and having experiences where my friend right now is going through a situation where he's got to have twins, and just watching him deal with that. I've got 5 really close friends. Out of that 5, only one of them has had his father around for all of his life. So, and just watching him go through the stress, and just talking about it, the whole thing about being a father, how you gonna make a difference to those 2 kids, those mini yous, and just watching the stress that he's going through just makes me think about my life. And just question my relationship with my father, or the relationship that I don't have with my father. So I guess I'm just coming here today to just talk about past experiences and what that meant to me, and what, if I would have had a relationship with my father, what it would have done to me. One, I wouldn't have a scar on my face, because I wouldn't have got into fights. He would have taught me how to be a man, a real man, and not the so-called man, the street man. And he would have taught me a lot of things that I reckon a father needs to teach a son. And I guess that's it really, just really yearning for his love and not getting it was a thing that's really hurting and still hurting and will forever hurt me. So that's it.
Thank you, AJ, inspiring young people here in East London. This Young Fathers Project worked with 46 young fathers, but it's still memorable for us, the first young father we had in the project. And coincidentally, it happened, Angela and I were at a session. Ladies and gentlemen, introduce you, Mark Early.
I was asked to talk to young people about my experience on fatherhood. I am a father of 5 young children. Wow. My oldest is 8 years old. So I was what you call young dad. I became a dad at 16 years old. When I became a dad, initially I didn't realise what it meant to become a dad. I still wanted to be young, as you do. Still wanted to treat myself to nice things and still live the same life that I was leading before I was a dad. But growing with my first son, it taught me responsibility. Secondly, I think it's the most important thing is how to become a dad. And I don't think it's something that, it's not skills that we're born with, it's something that we develop over a period of time, and it's trial and error. Everything is, I made mistakes. I learned through my mistakes, for me personally. When I first met Armando, I was in a bad place. My friend had just been murdered, and I was coming from Tottenham. So I'm from Tottenham, so I was over. I was a lot of my friends were involved in the riots, and I see a lot of my friends. What's the word? Fall by the wayside, basically, and I didn't want that for myself, I didn't want that for my children, so I decided that I was going to engage in a service called CATCH-22, a young fathers project. When I first started out there, I was still, I wouldn't say heavily involved in gangs, but I was still involved in certain aspects of that life. Armando basically took me from nothing and helped me realize that I can become whatever I want to become. Shortly after engaging in the Fathers Project, I was allowed to see my children. I was given granted access to my children. And shortly after that, I gained employment. I now work for the NHS. I work as a porter. I'm an ex-gang member, so if I can do it.
Back in your day, I wish I had.
Yeah, right, I'm gonna get it work. Won't stop till I finish. Ain't stressing, my mind keeps spinning. Time's time, I keep winning. Wait. Work. Without work, there ain't no success. And everybody knows there's work. And I'm gonna get it till I get it.
Cause you know that I'm going in. The music's in my spirit, what you way to get it. But I'm gonna get that crowd until the sea.
People that help him. My first visit to North Middlesex Hospital, Mark grabbed my arm and then introduced me to every single person, from doctors to janitors, to say, oh, he's my mentor. And Mark, thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much.
Next person I want to introduce to you is probably the quietest person in the room. I hope he comes and says something about Father's Project. Debo, please.
I'll take a seat as well. What can I say? It's nice to see you. I'll share a bit about myself. I became a father on the 17th of October 2011 to a lovely baby girl. And my experiences, I think it wasn't a planned, birth or pregnancy, whatever it is. But things went well for a little while until after the birth. I think my struggles have been with the mother of my child having postnatal depression, which is not a common thing with people, when they're talking about fathers. They don't realize that people go through that. And I didn't know how to deal with it, to be honest. Our relationship, we didn't have a relationship before she got pregnant, but after she got pregnant, we got together and things were really smooth. But then we have different cultures. She's English and I'm Nigerian. So that caused a conflict as well within, the family as a whole. Because, funny enough, my father's been very supportive to me. I live here, I came to this country to meet my father, and he's been very supportive, even though he wasn't there. I came here when I was 8, so he wasn't there when I was growing up until I was 8. But I heard from him quite regularly, so I knew how important it was to have a father. So for me, being a father was to play a part and be supportive, and raise her, be supportive to the family, support the mother of the child and the child herself. So, anyways, after birth, it took 3 days for everything to collapse. And after those 3 days, she went into a severe postnatal depression where she just couldn't handle, you know, people telling her to do things, and you know, she didn't know how to look after the baby when the baby was crying, and you know, I couldn't be there because I wasn't living with her, but I wanted to play my part regardless. And then things were even more difficult because my family, from the background, from our culture, they really wanted to see the child. And when someone's going through postnatal depression, it's not something that's taught in our background in Nigeria. About postnatal depression, we just feel like, you know, these things are supposed to be, it's just supposed to happen, you know. Let me see the child, let us see the child. And I wanted them to see it, but I couldn't, because I needed to support the mother of my child. And, you know, when it's possible for them to see it, they'll see it. But, you know, her family wasn't happy about the way things were going. So they kind of shut me out, believing that I was taking part in what they were doing. So I was really depressed with the whole situation and the way things were going. And although I was seeing my child when I came in touch with Armando, I started seeing her less, because the way they made it seem was like it was a privilege for me to see my child, rather than something that I was supposed to be, you know, I was supposed to be present. Things went on, and it became very difficult come Christmas, when they decided to register the birth without me being present. And these kind of things for me are big, really, you know, it's like a punch in the heart, you know, it's like a stab. And Armando was really supportive. He was someone that I could talk to about things like this. I think the Young Fathers Project has really helped me in terms of having someone to confide in, where generally you don't have someone to talk to. As a young father, people see young fathers as someone that generally doesn't want to be there, doesn't want to be supported. But what if you're really hungry to be supported and you're not given that chance? So what he told me is that, you know, put some money aside, open an account, you know, put some money in her account, and I started doing that. And although things got worse, I think that has really helped, because we went to court about it, and there was all sorts of lies and things. It got really bad as you can imagine. But then I was granted access to my child, and I was able to show them that, you know what, I was putting money away for my daughter. I was giving her money whilst we were going through all this, even though, you know, she wasn't allowing me to see my daughter. And these are advice that I was given by Armando, and without those advice, I think things wouldn't have worked out the way it did work out. But yeah, I still haven't seen my child for a good 7 months now. But you know, I know she's okay, and I know now that I've been granted access. It's just in due course I will see her, and I'd like to thank Armando for all his support.
Being a father, it's an accomplished purpose indeed, developing the third part of your soul to form the concrete. But being a young father proven and only proves really devastating and a detriment of your childhood, turning into misunderstood outstanding. Because when you look for a separate, you are addressing it all, but when you look to your kid, it's compensated for all. Being a young father could be awkward or great, but making this early step is not a mistake. Thank you.
Yeah, so you overdevelop those emotions, so rather than just feeling a normal level of love, I think it's quite overwhelming, the feeling that you get from having your first child. Yeah. And but that's not saying, you can't take away from the second or the third or your 10th. It doesn't matter how many children you have, you still feel all of those same emotions to each of the children. Well, I do.
Yeah. So that's cool. Okay, so thank you. What's your name again?
My name is Mark.
Mark. Nestor, as it's hard to say. With all this.
So,
Okay.
Come to that. Everyone should be there support when mum was here. So see that. Everyone come to that.
That's it. Look, if you're a father, then time is your enemy. Watch your kids grow what you take up of your family. You gotta stay awake, you gotta keep pushing. You gotta raise your kids right, don't let them go wrong. And everybody knows that you got a son. And everybody knows you need to take care of your mom. Cause being a father can sometimes be hard. I wake up every day and think for my son. You gotta stay good, cause I got a son. I pray for my mom. Where's your respect? Look, now we are free. We share. What are we going to say?
What we'd like to say is, we'd like to say a big thank you to CATCH-22, because without yourselves, yeah, we wouldn't have the opportunity to prove ourselves. See, we're not given enough opportunity as young people, especially as young fathers, and without the service that you provided us, yeah, we wouldn't be here today. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You got something to say to that? I've got, sorry.
I'll thank everybody for your presence here, especially the volunteers who made this place possible. And there's a late comer that just wanted to introduce Vicky from One World Foundation Africa, someone really who put an effort a lot and helping this project to be where the project is. Last but not least, LNQ, because the money really drives something. You know, they sponsor this whole project. So thanks to them. You know, food is ready for everybody, and thanks for enjoying. So I have to talk to volunteers because I have some presents for volunteers. If you are not shy, I can give it to you now. Let's go and have something to eat.
I see me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly.